Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This right here is Snoop, she's a jungle carpet python, and I'm Tim, and we're going to be talking about reptiles. And the reason is when I first got into keeping, of course we want to learn as much as we can about them, especially if it's something that we haven't had before. So I blew up YouTube, looking all over the place, trying to find everything I could. There's some really good creators out there that have got some really good content about keeping and husbandry and what you need to know and things that you need in general to keep your animals happy. And I do remember, although there was a lot of people putting a lot of content out there, there never seemed like there was enough. And my goal is to just complement that a little bit, give a little bit different perspective from somebody that has come around as a result of the things I learned from them, and some other things. And go into it all along the series and so forth. I'm getting started putting some content out here. I want to put out several videos a month, and in the meantime I've got an older video that I made, went in, cut it up a little bit, and that was involving Monty, my female motley reticulated python. So that's what this episode is going to be. I don't pretend to know everything. I don't think any of us do. I always welcome any critiques, any more questions. If I don't have the answers to it, I'm sure I can find the place to get the answers to it. And like I said, it's all in the interest of helping the community, making sure nobody's getting in over their heads with the reptiles they may not be familiar with, and helping us all take care of our animals a little bit better. So with that being said, let's go inside and take a look at Monty. It's Tim. I want to take a second to talk about reticulated pythons. I've seen a lot of questions out in the reptile community here lately from folks that are considering getting them. Of course, our community has been kind of hyped up lately because of what happened in Raleigh. So education is a pretty hot topic right now as far as our animals go. For the folks that are planning on getting retics, looking for some information about them, I'm going to start with Monty back here. She is a 12-foot, about 30-pound reticulated python. When I got her, she was big enough to sit completely on my arm like a tree python. And now she's grown quite a bit since then. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Make sure if you're considering getting one of these guys, you may see them 2-4 foot long, cute little snakes, but realize that it's sooner rather than later. You're going to have some ample space for them. So that moves me into handling. There's a couple hard, fast rules when it comes to snakes. One of which is if you have a negative experience with one, if you ever get bit by one, it's your fault. It's never the snake's fault. As handlers, it's our responsibility to understand how these animals think, how they behave, and understand that if we make a mistake, then we may not get the reaction that we thought we would get. I've been bitten a couple times. Been bitten and wrapped by a 16-foot female retic one time. Definitely not a pleasant experience, and it was 100% my fault. I didn't act accordingly during a feed response, and she got a hold of me. Got her off. Afterwards, she was perfectly fine. Put her back in the enclosure. She's a perfectly happy snake. But, you know, things may happen, and that's something that we just need to be aware of as keepers and work that much harder to do the right thing and recognize the clues that these animals are giving us. So I guess without any further ado, it's time to get her out because she is definitely ready to come out. You'll notice too, the lock on the enclosure. This is really important. Keep all your animals locked up. It's not just for your safety, it's for theirs. You know, I've got a lot of stuff in here that this animal could get into, hurt herself on. She's locked into her closure, secured, she's safe. So you're gonna see her perk up a little bit as soon as I start moving his door over. Hey, come on, girl. Come on. Yeah, she's all kinds of antsy and wants to play today. So, you see what I'm doing with the hook is I'm just letting her know that I'm getting ready to handle her. And she is all over the place. But I'm not going to actually handle her with the hook. This is just to make sure that we're on the same page and she knows I'm not dinner. So once you establish that and you start getting them long tongue flicks and that really curious look about them like that, then you get your hands on them. And she likes to wrap up around all of the stuff in her enclosure. So, and then once you do that, I mean, that hook goes away. Now your hands on her. There we go. You can't bring your house with you. Come on. And I'll let her work her tail off of that eventually so that I can step over here a little bit closer. Okay. Now you're going to see a couple things with the way I got her. One of which is I'm having her over my shoulder, but I've got an arm free. I don't have her wrapped all the way around my neck. I don't have her draped around both shoulders. She's not a big reticulated python by any stretch of the imagination, but she's big enough to where she could give me a bit of a headache if she decided to, you know, latch on and hold on or something while she's going down to the ground. So the most important thing when you've got these guys is just make sure their body's supported. You can't be so afraid of your animal that you're afraid to hold it, because you're just going to make something bad happen because they're not going to feel secure. And as you can see her, she's all over the place. She just wants to get out and play. It's actually being summertime too. I've got these guys outside quite a bit, so she's ready to get out and run for a while. And you're going to notice too, it's going to look awkward, but when you're holding these guys, you don't restrain them. It's the quickest way to get a bad relationship with one of your animals. You don't want them to feel threatened. You don't want them to feel restrained. It's kind of like losing a game of tug of war with these guys, because you always just let them go, let them do what they're going to do. They never get bored of trying to get away, and eventually you'll get tired trying to keep them back. So this girl right here I'm pretty happy with. So there you go. That's kind of what we're wanting to do here. Of course, like I said, that was an older video that I'd kind of cut up for this just so I can get on the board and give some folks an idea of what we're doing. And I don't really care to touch on any of the controversial topics that are out there right now. There are some, and there's a time and place to discuss those, but I want to keep everything very basic and very positive for right now. Of course, I do welcome any kind of constructive criticism folks may have, new ideas, something else that I can maybe do different myself. And hopefully for the newer folks, you know, let me know if you're getting something out of it. Like I said, we've already got a whole lot of really good creators out here, but we can never have too much. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get her back inside now, and I really hope to see you guys out there and hear from you guys a lot more. Have an awesome day, and I will see you soon.